Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope I made a great morning this morning. It is Saturday morning, as always, a coffee kind of morning. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. As a thumbnail, as the thumbnail suggests, I'm going to be doing the ranking of Montrose's 5 studio albums. This was kind of different. I changed my mind 2 or 3 times on this one. I love each album on its own. There's only 5 studio albums in here, and I did change the ranking of a couple just before this video. But like any ranking, this could change on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, depending on your mood, depending on what you want to listen to. Individually on their own, I think they're all fantastic albums, but one has to be at number 5. One has to be at number 1. That's it is with the ranking. Montrose himself, Ronnie Montrose, an amazing, influential guitar player, genius on his guitar, kind of weird in personal life. He was all around hard rock player in the 70s for sure. He ran away from home when he was 16 to pursue a musical career, and he was a session player in the 70s, played on like 40 albums of other artists. He put out 10 solo albums on his own. He put out the 5 Montrose albums I'm going to show you today. His other band after Montrose was Gamma, which I need to get. There's 4 studio albums there, plus the greatest hits. Amazing guitar player. I definitely have to get more, especially Gamma. Unfortunately, he would pass away by a self-inflicted gunshot wound in March of 2012. Originally thought he had prostate cancer, but it was confirmed that he had shot himself. So I guess there were demons inside. I really don't know the circumstances, and it's unfortunate because it's a huge loss, just like any loss of any musician. So again, these are just my rankings. They're going to change as I listen to an album. Let me know in the comments below what you feel, if you're into Montrose, what you feel is the best album or the least likable album. I'm going to start off at number 5 with Mean, or M for Mean. Worst album cover for sure by any Montrose album. This is a 1987 release, so it's a little later than the 70s stuff that was put out, and more of a hair metal album by Montrose. Again, compared to the classic hard rock stuff of his earlier stuff with Montrose. It's not a great album, but it's a good album just to put on and crank it up and listen to for sure. That kind of music was hard to find in the 80s. I like this album. It's heavy riffs, catchy tracks. You got M for Machine, Pass It On, Man of the Hour, Don't Damage the Rock, Flesh and Blood. Maybe some too many fillers in this one, but the fillers themselves, heavy rhythms, powerful vocals, amazing guitar work by Ronnie. Again, more glam metal than the previous albums of the 70s. Starts off with great track, Don't Damage the Rock, high energy, rockin' tune, great vocals by Johnny Edwards on this one. And you've got the rest of the album really doesn't slow down. You got Pass It On. I love the acoustic intro to Hard-Headed Woman. Some great guitar work on M for Machine, Ready and Willing and Able. The album comes out blistering in the first 3 tracks. It kind of levels down in the middle 3 tracks, and then it ranks back up again in the last 3 tracks. Man of the Hour is a great 80s heavy metal rockin' track. Cool guitar openings on Flesh and Blood. Amazing guitar solo on Stand. Flesh and Blood has the amazing guitar solo. Well, they all got amazing guitar solos, but Stand is a great track to close the album. He's kind of at his peak as a guitar player, a hard rock guitar player at this point. Again, crank it out, rock it out. It's a solid effort, but kind of one that he never continued. It was kind of a one-off as far as glam metal and hard rock. But this is Mean, or M for Mean, and 1987 release. These next four, I've changed my mind 10 times on these ones. But I'm going to, and this isn't the greatest cover either. This is Jump on It, 1976. I had this ranked a little higher in the before I started this. But why you put this on an album cover? I'm sorry. But it is a beautifully crafted album. From the opening Hard Rock Driver, Let's Go, and then you wind up at the end with Merry Go Round. Bob James is on vocals on this one. He is awesome. Ronnie's playing is as good as ever on this one. The entire band is rocking. You got Denny Carmassi on drums and Jim Malkavar on keyboards. No bass, so he plays keyboards effects with bass synthesizer. And then you've got Danny Hartman, who was with the Edgar Winter Group, singing on, I think, 3 tracks on this one as well. He also plays bass on these tracks. Let's Go, one of the greatest opening songs of all time. You got tribal beats, killer guitar licks, awesome vocals. It's just an amazing, amazing track. What are you waiting for? Kind of a blend of hard rock elements and funk kind of rhythms. Upbeat vibes. Is just, wow. The solo is so good. Tough Sedge. It's one of the weirdest song titles, in my opinion. But the song itself is great. You got, again, another amazing playing on this one. And it's an instrumental, but it's so good. So good. Music Man. Bluesy undertones on this one. Beautiful song. James's voice is really, really good on this one. I really like this. Jump on It picks up the pace. Great solid track. Rich Man, again, another great rockin' track. It starts off a little slow, but it builds and builds and builds. Crazy for You, maybe one of the best on the album. And Merry-Go-Round, awesome closing track. Decent album. I may change this one in my mind, but it's a great album. I just don't like the cover. This one I definitely changed. I had this one at number 2, but I moved it back up to number 3. This is Paper Money. Yeah, this one's really good. This is the last album with Sammy Hagar on it. Kind of I wouldn't say a disappointing follow-up to their debut, but nothing could match their debut. Nothing could match their debut. And it's kind of all over the map as well as far as musical tracks go. You've got an acoustic Rolling Stones cover of Connection. Ronnie plays or sings lead on We're Going Home, which is kind of weird because, especially when you have a great vocalist like Sammy Hagar on here. The awesome instrumental Starliner. And then you got that sci-fi number, Space Age Sacrifice. And then you got the blistering rocker, I Got the Fire, one of the best on the album. The band, unfortunately, was starting to fall apart. There was big conflict between Ronnie Montrose and Sammy Hagar, who was going to be the more creative and the more front man. So maybe, despite all the crap that was going on behind the scenes, the album itself felt like it could have been worked on a little more, and maybe as a result of everything going on, there was pressure by Warner Brothers to get it out quicker. But despite it all, it's still a fantastic album. I think it's so good. Again, I had this at number 2. I moved it to number 3. I don't know. It's an achieved classic album. Maybe not one of their greatest, but the songs are really good. and because of Ronnie's involvement in the album. Again, Sammy was kind of out at this point, or on the verge of stepping out. But yeah, I really like this one. You got Ronnie on guitars and vocals, Sammy, of course, on vocals. He doesn't play guitar at this point. Denny Carmassi on drums and vocals, Alan Fitzgerald on bass and synthesizer, Mark Jordan on piano on Connection, Nick DeCaro on Mellotron on the song We're Going Home. And yeah, great album. Paper Money. At number 2, this is, other than the debut, is just one of my favorite albums. This is Warner Brothers Presents 1975 release. Sorry, Paper Money was 1974. Jump On It 1976. And of course, Mean was 1987. So at number 2, Warner Brothers Presents. New vocalist Bob James, keyboardist Jim Malcavar, bassist Alan Fitzgerald, and drummer Denny Carmassi. You got heavy Deep Purple-like track on Matriarch and Black Train. And then there's lighter, more poppier songs like All You Need. And then you got this old school party rocker, 20 Flight Rock. And then you've got the solo track, 1.5. A gorgeous acoustic piece on that one. Yeah, it's really good. I like this one. All 5 members are contributing at this point in time as co-songwriters. You've got, again, Matriarch, All I Need, prog rocker Wailer, one of my favorite tracks for sure. Dancing Feet, heavy track, bluesy track, Dancing Feet. Written by Montrose and Bob James. 1.5. Clown Woman, another great track on this one. Then you got Eddie Cochran's 20 Flight Rock. Oh Lucky Man, another great. Like, there's so many good tracks on this one. So many good tracks on this one. I think it's. That's why I put this one ahead of Paper Money, because it's just a more solid album. And of course, some of the best work that Ronnie's ever done on an album as well. Yeah, I like it. That's at number 2. And of course, number 1, and the only album I don't have on vinyl, I've got to get it. I'll get it definitely in the new year, is the fantastic debut of Montrose, 1973 release. One of the greatest debut albums of all time, in my opinion. Introduction of Sammy Hagar on vocals, awesome vocals by Sammy. Rhythm section of Bill Church on bass and Denny Carmassi on drums. Musical madness, or musical magic. Sorry, it is magic. Madness, but magic as well at the same time. Rock the Nation, Bad Motor Scooter, Make It Last, Space Station number 5. You got the Elvis cover of Good Rockin' Tonight by Elvis. 5 minutes and 17 seconds of rock candy. Wow. Some of the best rock guitar ever recorded on a debut album. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better than this one. Sammy's powerful vocals. Say what you want about Sammy, but he's fantastic on this album. And of course, the amazing playing of Ronnie Montrose. Definitely one of the top 10 hard rock and heavy metal albums of all time. I think it's fantastic. So, at number 1, Montrose. At number 2, Warner Brothers Presents. At number 3, Paper Money. At number 4, the terrible cover of Jump On It. And at number 5, you got, again, another terrible cover of M for, what is it called here? M for Mean. the glam rock album by Montrose. So there you have it, guys. There's my ranking of Montrose 5 studio albums. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have yourself a great rest of the weekend. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.